Good morning and welcome to In the Garden with Joyful Living. I am Kimberly Dixon. Before we go outside, as anybody who's been watching the last few episodes, I have moved my tomato plant inside into my bathroom downstairs. And it's in some distress, but the tomatoes are still ripening. As you can see, that one there is about to be ready to be picked and the other ones are still doing well. But because the plant is showing some signs of distress, I went ahead and took a, what's it called? I don't know what it's called, actually. I cut a piece off of it. Thanks to the advice of Malika Robinson, I cut a piece off of it and we're going to let it root in a glass. And then I'm going to put it in a pot so that it will still have the characteristics of the original plant. I'm going to try to move my cat Silas out the way. Move out the way, baby. He loves the way that plant smelled. He might be the reason it's in some distress. Good morning, Mabel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Guys, Mabel is my new friend that I met just a week or so ago. But we're going to take a look at, I'm going to try to do this outdoors today, guys, as I normally do. But it is extraordinarily windy today. So please, if the broadcast gets interrupted, know that it's because of the wind. So let's take a look at the outdoor plants quickly before we get started. These are the moms and they're still doing well. This was a pleasant little surprise. This was my summer lettuce, but the heat this summer destroyed it. And I looked outside of the sliding doors and it was growing again. So I brought it around to the front so that I can take good care of it. And the pansy is still doing well. We had some nights this week where it was in the 20s and I thought it was dead, but it is not. It is looking very good this morning. The yellow and the purple are beautiful. But let's go ahead and get started this morning. So I have my notes with me and they are blowing away. So this is the joy of doing things outside. So we're going to go ahead and get started this morning. Excuse me. So today's topic is weathering the storm. That essentially means having perseverance. Please share the video, guys, if you haven't already done so. So we're going to be talking about how to persevere today. Weathering the storms of life is something that we all must do, but it is difficult. There are going to be some things that happen to you in your life that are going to knock you off of your feet. Everyone will experience them. And let me assure you that if you have not experienced one yet, you will. Now, that doesn't mean that we should walk around waiting for some impending disaster, but it does mean that we have an understanding that life is going to have its ups and its downs. No one is going to be up 100% of the time, and no one should be down 100% of the time. So we are going to have some storms that we are going to have to weather. Please share the video, guys. The first way to want to weather the storm is to learn how to practice gratitude. Gratitude is the quickest way to perseverance. When we learn to appreciate the good things and the bad things in our life, if we can appreciate those simple, mundane things, it will help us to persevere through any trial, any storm, any situation. Appreciate the sunny, warm days. And although it's cool this morning, this 40 degrees feels like it's a balmy beach compared to the 20 degrees we had earlier this week. Appreciate the simple, mundane things in the life, like a change in the temperature. Appreciate the sun. Appreciate the rain. And I know when it is raining, it is so simple, easy for us to get in this funk. But what we have to realize is that we need water to drink. Rain supplies that to us. We need water to shower, to do laundry. Water is essential for life. We can go weeks without food, but only 3 days without water. When you are dehydrated, your brain actually shrinks in size because it's not properly hydrated. Your heart doesn't get enough blood, and your blood is what takes oxygen throughout the entire body. Learn to appreciate the rain. Then we won't focus on the inconvenience that it causes you, that you have to use an umbrella, that you got to put on boots, And this is something that's important. We need to understand that rain can be literal, as in rain actually falling from the sky, or it can be figurative, as the trials and the tribulations that we experience in life. Good morning, Doc. Good morning, Malika. Malika, I talked about you earlier because I cut a sampling from my tomato plant. It's in some distress now, so I cut off one of the healthy pieces, and I'm rooting it in a glass now. Although I just cut it off last night, so it doesn't have any roots on it yet. The second way we can learn to persevere through life is through meditation. Meditation is a great distressor. It creates calmness and it creates clarity. When we have some calmness and some clarity, then we can develop a strategy. Having a plan makes the difference between going through life haphazardly and letting life just happen to you, or you using what happens to you in life to empower you. Spend 20 minutes a day just sitting in quiet stillness. That's meditation. But if you're new to the practice and you find that you can't sit still that long, start with just 5 minutes. Even that will have a profound impact on your life. And as thoughts come up into your mind, imagine them on a cloud and just let them float through. Because this is what happens. We're going to have a thought. When we start thinking, we start beating ourselves up. I'm not doing it right. But if you just let those thoughts just drift through your mind, just let it float on by. And then when the next one come up, let it float on by. Because if we try to force ourselves to stop thinking, and I'm sure if any of you have tried meditation, you know this to be true. If you try to force yourself to stop thinking, it's only going to make you think more. And that's only going to make you more frustrated, which defeats the entire purpose of meditating. The third way to persevere is to get in the boat. What exactly do I mean by get in the boat? Stop trying to swim in a raging sea by yourself. Get around people who will support you and who will help you row the boat during the storm. That can be your family or your friends. But if you are the person in your life who is keeping everybody else afloat, your family and your friends, they may not be able to help you because they don't know how to. Good morning, Judy. Good morning, Christy. Good morning, Malika and Dot. I think I said hello to some of you guys. But if you've been rowing the boat and keeping everybody else afloat for so long that when your time of need comes up, they may not know how to help you. But don't be in despair. There are lots of options out there for you. Find a support group. There are groups for almost everything imaginable. There are groups for divorce. There are groups for when you lose a parent, when you lose a child. There are also groups for people who have chronic illnesses and chronic pain and things of that nature, such as cancer or lupus or MS. Get in a circle of people who can support you during your storm. Get in the boat with others who will help you row when you are too tired and too weak or too sick to row yourself. Yep, Malika, observe without judgment of the thought. That's good stuff for the meditation piece. So the third step is just get in the boat with some other people who can support you and help to carry you during your time of need, because we're all going to have them. We need support. The fourth way is I'm experiencing a storm right now. This wind out here is raging, but we're in the garden. So as you guys know who've been watching me for a couple of years, I'll stay outside as long as feasibly possible until it's just too frigid cold to be out here. But right now that's not the case. So I'm going to weather the storm. The fourth way to persevere is to look for the lesson. There is a lesson in every trial. Let me say that again. There's a lesson in every trial. And you might be thinking, what can I possibly learn from the death of a loved one? Well, you might just learn that you are stronger than you think. Good morning, Jay. You might learn that you are stronger than you think. You might learn that you are the person that can handle tragedy with ease. Not ease per se, but you might learn that you are the person who doesn't panic when there's a stressful situation coming about. Or you also might learn that you're the person that doesn't handle traumatic situations easily. Either way, it's just you learning about yourself. whether you can handle stressful events easily or you can't handle them. It's not a judgment. It's just a characteristic of you, and you know that you need some support. Because the more that we learn about ourselves, the more self-awareness we have, that just puts us ahead of the game, so that when this situation comes up again, yes, Tara, the lesson that you know, either I can support some people in my family, or I need to get some supports from the people in my family. Get in, look for the lesson, because there is one there. So Romans 5 and 3, Romans 5 verses 3 through 5, and this is one of my favorite scriptures. I don't know why I'm messing it up this morning. I feel kind of excited today. It reads, "Not only so, but we glory in our suffering, knowing that suffering produces perseverance. Perseverance, character, and character, hope. And hope does not put us to shame, because God's love has been poured into our hearts through the Holy Spirit who has been given to us." The Apostle Paul suffered immensely, yet he was able to say, excuse me, that God's grace was sufficient for him. And just like Paul, God's grace is for you, is sufficient for you, and it's sufficient for me. There is something to learn in the midst of your trials, and know that God's grace will sustain you through every one of them. The fifth way to persevere: don't give up. Don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on your goals. Don't give up on your aspirations. And most importantly, don't give up on you. Make a decision that you can make it, and tell yourself, I can do it. I can make it through this. I am more than a conqueror. Good morning, Preston. I am successful. Whatever the trial is, learn to encourage yourself throughout it. In 2007, I learned that my ACL was so badly damaged that my thigh bone, which my femur, was essentially detached from my shin bone, which is the tibia. My doctor said that I should have been in excruciating pain and unable to walk at all on that leg because it was so damaged. Yet I was able to walk. I was in excruciating pain, but anytime I had to walk all day long, every day, I said to myself in my mind, you can do this. Pick it up, put it down. Pick it up, put it down. That ran on a continuous loop in my mind because I was referring to my foot. Pick it up and put it down. And I was able to walk. Our minds, our brains are the most powerful asset we have. We got to learn to use them. So in those times of trials and tribulations, you got to encourage yourself. You got to tell yourself, guys, please share the video. Thank you, Tarina and Dot, for sharing it. You got to tell yourself, I can make it through this. I can withstand this storm. I can withstand the rain. Science said that I should not have been able to walk at all. But my mind, my brain didn't know that my leg was almost detached, and I was able to walk in spite of everything that science said. I shouldn't have been able to stand up, let alone walk on that leg. But I kept saying, your grace is sufficient to me, for me, referring to God. And I kept saying, I can do this. I can make it. I can walk. Good morning, Terrell. Good morning, Cordell. I kept telling myself, you can do this. Tell yourself you can do it, and you will. Tell yourself you can weather the storm, and you will. It will be difficult. It's not going to be an easy task, but you can weather the storms of life because of the God that's in you. Remind yourself that you are more than a conqueror in Christ Jesus, and knowing that, pray. Pray without ceasing. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything through prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, make your requests known to God. Notice that the scripture says through prayer and thanksgiving. Be thankful. Be grateful for everything that you have. Because think of it this way. Why would God bless you with more, or bless you with the desires of your heart, or whatever it is that you're praying for, and you're not grateful for what you have already? You're not grateful for the things that you currently have, your life, your family, your job, your business, your friends, the sun, the rain. Even if you're sick, and your health is failing, if you woke up this morning, that's something to be grateful for. Because I can remember being in pain all night long and thought I wasn't going to make it through the night. The pain would be that bad. But when the sun came up, all I could say was thank you. I made it. I made it through another night. Even when it didn't seem like I wasn't going to make it, I made it through another night. And guys, please bear with me because, again, it's extraordinarily windy out here today. And I'm trying to keep my notes from blowing away. So don't give up. Keep your head up. Learn to persevere through the storms of life. Because I promise you, they're not going to destroy you. They don't feel good. They are uncomfortable. But they can grow you in ways that you didn't even imagine. And watch God use everything that the enemy meant to destroy you to bless you. The enemy thought that my life would make me curse God and die. That I would turn around and go back in the other direction and I would give up. But God used the bow legs, the 11 orthopedic surgeries, the neglect, the assault, and the financial woes that came about because of all the surgery. But he used that stuff to put me in a position to serve him and to serve his people. I don't have any regrets about my life. And my life has been full of raging seas. But whenever that sea was raging, I clung to God. I clung to my family, my brothers and sisters. I don't even think I've ever told them this, or maybe I have, but they were my lifeline, and they still are. I cling to God. I cling to them. I cling to my friends. And when there's trouble going on in the world, I don't try to do this thing by myself. We weren't put here to do this thing by ourselves. We're supposed to lean on our circle, those that are around us, those who can offer the support. So I want to encourage you this morning to don't give up. Don't throw up your hands in exasperation. Don't tuck your tail between your legs, as the old saying says, and walk in the other direction. Hold your head up. Keep pressing towards your march. Keep using the things that you're learning on the way to bless your life and to bless the life of somebody else. This thing is not about us. Good morning, Derek. Good morning, Susan. I'm excited about life. Yes, there's always going to be something going on around you. Always. It might be something little. It might be something huge that you just don't know how you're going to get through this. But I promise you, you will. Encourage yourself. Get in the boat. Meditate and practice gratitude. Say thank you. Say thank you for everything in your life. Say thank you to people when they assist you. Hold a door open for somebody else. Practice some random acts of kindness and love and watch how it impacts your life. God, thank you. Thank you for watching In the Garden with Joyful Living. So I done got a little cold now. So I'm going to go in the house and warm back up because I'm getting ready to go to work out and be out in the cold for an hour and a half. But it's all good because being out here at this time of day actually helps me get acclimated so that when I get out there, I'm okay. And plus, once we start working, I'm going to have to come out this coat. Not the hat, but I'm coming out the coat. So guys, thank you for watching In the Garden with Joyful Living. Please share the video. I love you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.